Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how to remove the front fascia panel from your Peugeot 306. So this right here is what I'm talking about. So I'm having an issue with the aircon at the moment. I've already removed the stereo because it is aftermarket, and from there we'll be removing these panels. So what I can say is that it's three pieces. This top piece here with the two aircon vents, this middle piece here, and this lower piece which has the demister, emergency hazard lights, and the clock. I'll show you the proper technique to removing the factory stereo, seeing as mine was aftermarket when I bought the car. Down here we have 2 tabs. And what you're supposed to do is get something like a thin trim removal tool and slide it into the bottom and flip these little clips at the bottom and then slot out the stereo. Alright, so what we're going to do now is remove the lower part. Now, the proper technique is to take your spatula and squeeze it into these little gaps here. The best way you can do it is by pressing the upper fascia panel and trying to create a gap. I'll see if I can do it now. So, slot that in somehow. And work your way around the side. There are some metal clips in here, so you don't have to be too worried about breaking them. Once you got one side off, you can do the other side. I find it easier to do the passenger side than the driver's side. I'll just quickly do these again. Alright, so now we've got the lower fascia panel off. That can go down behind your rear seats. Careful not to touch the leather because it does scratch it quite easily. Next, we're going to take a star-shaped drill bit. So I've got my trusty 42 piece here. It's the third smallest size according to this toolkit. I'm using the star-shaped ones. They are Torx bits. So I've already loosened these up. There's 2 bolts you need to do, one here and one there. And you might notice that there are another pair of Torx bolts on either side of the clock. So the next part we're going to do is these 2 screws on either side at the top here, which is why you need to remove the stereo. So they use a 5/16 or 8mm bit. All you need to do is put your wrench over this little thread here and undo the bolts, and once you've done that, there'll be these little top hat bolts with a washer built in. So once those 2 are done, you can almost pull it out from the inside. Now another note is that the aircon unit, these switches are part of the aircon and not the front fascia, so they will not come out when you prise off the front fascia. And I've just cheated again. I've actually unplugged everything from the backs before getting to it. Once again, this can go down behind the seat. Now next up, this one is a bit odd. If like me you need to get into your actual aircon unit and see what's wrong, then there are these 2 holes at the front here. Now what you're supposed to do is take your screwdriver, jam it in there and pull on these clips. So you do one side and then the other side, as I'll quickly demonstrate now. And here on my Peugeot, there is one burnt out piece of circuit right here, which I'll need to be replacing. Alright, so just to recap, your most important tool is your trim removal tool or silicone spatula, and your Torx kit for screwdrivers. note that I like to say is that while you've got the lower fascia off, now is a good time to adjust the clock properly. Normally you would need to grab a pen or two and stab these two buttons with these tiny little pinholes. But now that the fascia's off, we can give it a wipe down. I think this one needs the rear bulb to be replaced. And now it says 1 AM, very hard to see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just for now I'm going to set it to 10:30, I don't know what the actual time is. And then the lower fascia panel can go back on. Now we have a working Peugeot 306.